You want your kids to become strangers by the time you're old. I will show you how. I am 87 years old. 3 kids, 5 grandchildren. My youngest son last called 8 months ago. We talked for 4 minutes. It was my birthday. I was not cruel. I did not drink. I worked. I provided. I thought that was enough. 3 kids, 5 grandchildren, and I spend my Sundays in silence. I did 3 things that turned my children into strangers. You are probably doing them right now. My name is Victor, 87 years old, a bad back, pills on the nightstand. In the mornings, I drink my coffee standing by the refrigerator because that is where the photograph is. We are at the beach. The kids are maybe 7, 10, and 13. Everyone is laughing. My wife is squinting from the sun. I am in a hat, a towel over my shoulder, looking somewhere off to the side. Even in the photograph, I am looking somewhere off to the side. I did not notice that for 30 years. I only notice now when there is not much else to look at. I'm not here to complain. Complaining is for people who are not at fault. I am at fault. My kids are 52, 48, and 45. They have their own families, their own lives, their own Sundays. I am not part of those Sundays because I built the kind of relationship that has no room for me in it. I built it myself, brick by brick, year by year. The first thing, I was always right. When my daughter Katie was around 8 years old, she brought me a drawing. She stood there looking at me and waiting, and I looked at the drawing and told her that trees do not have that shape of crown, and that she had drawn the sun too big. She took the drawing, walked to her room without a word, and closed the door. I went back to my newspaper. I thought I was teaching her to see the world correctly. I did not understand what I was actually teaching her. That her joy did not matter if it did not meet my standards. When my oldest Andrew was 14 and had a crush on a girl from school and wanted to talk to me about it, I explained to him that 14-year-olds do not have real feelings, that it was hormones, that he needed to focus on school. He nodded. He never came to me with anything like that again, not once. I closed the door. I did it myself with his own hands. When my middle one, Natalie, was 23 and told me she wanted to quit her job at the bank and go study graphic design, I sat her down for a 2-hour conversation about financial stability, about risk, about how she did not have the talent for it. She stayed at the bank. She worked there for 8 more years. Then she quit anyway. She did not call me first. She called her mother. I found out a week later. Here's what always being right does to your kids. They stop bringing you the real things. They bring only what can survive your judgment. Holidays, birthdays, work promotions. Everything else, the doubts, the fears, the dreams, the pain, they take it anywhere but to you. The second thing, my work always came first. Back then, it seemed to me that work was the same thing as care, that I was working for them. It is love, but it is not presence. And kids cannot convert money into presence. When Andrew was 12, he made the school baseball team. For the first time in his life, he was the best at something, and that something was his. The first game was on a Saturday afternoon. I knew about it. My wife reminded me Friday evening. Saturday morning, a client called. Urgent, important, impossible to reschedule. I went to the meeting. They won the game. Andrew hit the ball that won it. I found out from my wife at dinner. He sat at the table eating without looking up. I said, "Good job." He nodded. We never talked about it again. 3 years ago, I drove out to see him. I wanted to talk, to work on things. He poured me a cup of coffee, sat down across from me. After a long pause, he said calmly, "Dad, do you remember my first game? I was looking for you in the stands. After the hit, I looked around the bleachers for you. Then I figured out you were not coming, and I stopped looking, but I could not breathe. Because that boy was 12 years old, and he was scanning the bleachers for my face, and my face was not there. I missed the first game. I missed Katie's graduation. I missed Natalie's college graduation. I showed up everywhere that protocol required presence. And the places that required presence out of love, I found a reason not to be there. The kids remembered, not with anger, they just remembered. And when they grew up, they stopped automatically thinking, I should call Dad. Because while they were growing up, Dad did not come to the important moments. Why invite someone who does not come? The third thing, I never apologized. We believed that apologizing was weakness, that a father does not make mistakes in front of his children. The hurt stayed open. It just sat there, built up, turned into a belief that Dad does not think I matter enough to say sorry. There was one evening, Katie was around 16. We argued, I raised my voice, she cried, and went to her room. My wife came to me and said quietly, "Go talk to her, apologize." I sat there watching television. I said she started it. My wife left. I never went to that room. The next morning at breakfast, everything was normal. Katie passed me the toast when I asked. Nothing sorted itself out. She had just learned to pretend that it had. Those are different things. I never asked my children for forgiveness, not once, during their entire childhoods. I thought my actions spoke for themselves, that they could see how hard I was trying. But they also saw that nothing mattered to me more than being right. That I would never walk into a room and say I was wrong. Forgive me. When my wife passed away 6 years ago, I was left alone. She was the bridge. She called the kids and told them, "Dad misses you." While she was alive, the kids came. Not for me, for her. I was just there. When she was gone, I was left alone with what I had built. The silence on Sundays. The phone that goes months without ringing. The photograph on the refrigerator where everyone is laughing and I am looking somewhere off to the side. Kids do not become strangers because of one event. They become strangers because of 1,000 small moments when you chose your opinion over their feelings. Each of those moments is a small brick. You do not notice you are building a wall. You only notice when it is already finished. He went quiet, and in that silence I said it. I was not there. That was wrong. I am sorry. Andrew looked at me for a long time. Then he said, "Okay, Dad." Not okay, I forgive you. Just okay. But he refilled my coffee. and we sat on that porch until it got dark. It was the best Sunday I had had in years. Too late to rewrite everything, but not too late to say one word, sorry. Kids wait for that word, even when they are adults, even the ones who stopped waiting a long time ago. When was the last time you sat next to your child and just listened? Not correcting, not advising, just listened. If you have to think about it for a while, you are already laying bricks. Every morning I look at the photograph on the refrigerator. They are 7, 10, 13. Everyone is laughing. That was a summer vacation, the beach, a watermelon on a towel. I look at myself in that hat, and I understand now that I was there physically, but I was not there. I remember Natalie finding a stone on the beach shaped like a heart and running to show me. I said, "Nice," and put it back down on the sand. She picked it up herself, carried it all day, then lost it somewhere on the bus home. That heart-shaped stone. That is what I should have done. Picked it up, put it in my pocket, brought it home, set it on a shelf. There were thousands of moments like that one. I miss nearly all of them. You still have time. That is the main thing I want you to hear. You still have time to pick up the heart-shaped stone before it gets lost on the bus. If something here reached you today, stay. More stories like this one. Real ones.